Hi there Booktube, it's Eleanor here and it's time for the Booktube SFF Awards 2018. So I'm really excited to be taking part in the awards again. I really enjoyed it last year, discovering new books, talking about the books that have come out, and I'm really excited to get stuck into this year's nominations. So let's talk a little bit about the awards just in case you don't know anything about it. The Booktube SFF Awards is a awards which we have set up, or has been set up, and I was very kindly asked to participate, and there are 9 judges this year. We've added 2 more judges to our list. A couple of judges have bowed out due to work commitments, and so we've got 9 judges. First we have me of course, because I'm telling you about this. There's Caitlin from the channel Kitty G, Thomas from the channel SFF 180, Sam from the channel Sam's Nonsense, Sam from the channel Thoughts on Tomes, Chelsea from The Reading Outlaw, Rachel from Calanardi, Frankie from Frankie Reads, Connor from Connor O'Brien, and in the background working tirelessly as always on administration, and also she will be reading some of the books, is Elizabeth from Books and Pieces. So I'm really excited to get stuck in, find out what books you've all been reading, and read some of these books and discover some new favourites. So I'll take you through the process and how it's going to work in terms of the timeline. The nominations are open today, so there'll be a link in the description down below for you to click on and to go and input your nominations. Nominations will then close on the 4th of February. When they close, that'll be the time for us to be gathering and collecting the data and to be working out the shortlist for each category. This year there's going to be 7 categories. We've made a few changes due to popular opinion and also judges' opinion. We've talked tirelessly about what we should do with various different things, so hopefully everyone will be happy with the changes we've made and also with the categories that have been included. So there'll just be 1 nomination ballot per person. In order for your nominations to be valid, they need to fall into the SFF genre, because this is a SFF Awards. They need to have been published in 2017 through a traditional means, so not self-published works, unfortunately. You can nominate 2 books by the same author in a category if you so wish, but just please be aware that we are having a cap this year and an author may not appear twice in the shortlist. So of our shortlist of 3 for a category, we won't have, for example, 2 Rick Riordan books in there, even if they're from a different series. We want to try and diversify a little bit and to spread it out so that different authors are in there. So an author will only be once on the shortlist for any given category. We will then announce the shortlist on the 9th of February. The shortlist will be 3 books for each category. Those categories are going to be Best Science Fiction, Best Fantasy, Best YA, Best Middle Grade, Best Short, Best Graphic Work, Best Debut. So there's quite a few good categories there. I for one am really excited about the majority of these. Now each of the judges this year, we've decided that the judges won't all be judging every category. It just became a little bit too much, especially with the workloads that everybody has. So the judges have been split out between different categories. I'm going to be judging, well, all of the judges firstly will be judging the best science fiction and the best fantasy category, because we all were agreed that we wanted to judge that. I myself am going to be doing 3 other categories. I am going to be judging best YA, best middle grade and best debut, because they were the 3 that I'm most interested in. But if you want to find out what a particular judge is going to be judging, then check out their videos announcing, which all should have been going up today to really give us the oomph to get the SFF Awards started. Once nominations have been announced on the 9th, we will then be starting our read-alongs on the 23rd of February. That gives everyone just a couple of weeks to gather together the books that they want to participate in read-alongs for, and we will be starting that via our Goodreads page. There'll be different judges taking the lead on different books, and we won't have decided that until nearer the time, but you can be sure to find out that on the Goodreads page, which will all be linked down below, along with all our other social media. We have a Twitter and a Goodreads. We also have a Tumblr where you can go and find out a bit more about rules and regulations and all the different things that will be happening. There'll also be a list of all the dates there as well, in case you don't want to have to keep going back through the video to find them. And as I said, all those links will be down below. We also have an email. If you have any major queries you want to ask, then please use the email to ask those. So for those of you who aren't new and you have been taking part of the SFF Awards, you will have noticed from things that I've been saying about some of the changes taking place, but I'm just going to quickly list here the changes that we did decide to go for. Firstly, we decided to split the science fiction and the fantasy categories up. We just thought that it would give science fiction more of a chance to shine through. We felt that often it's quite fantasy heavy, and we just felt like it worked better because it's really hard to judge fantasy and science fiction next to each other because they are very different in what you're looking for from a science fiction and a fantasy. So we have now split those up. We've added a best debut category because it's really important to shine a light on those new authors that maybe don't get seen because everyone is reading their favourite author and picking up on series, because science fiction not so much, but with fantasy they tend to be bigger series. People are reading the current book that has come out, and often those debut authors slip through the cracks when it comes time to nominate. We have decided to keep middle grade. It was a bit of a challenging one. We really struggled with the middle grade category last year, but there is quite a few of us on the judging panel now that have been reading more middle grade and we're quite keen to keep it in there. I think there's loads more potential and loads more for us to discover with middle grade fantasy and science fiction, and so I wanted to make sure that we get a chance to discover some of that. So make sure when you're nominating you give us some really good ones, because I for one really want to discover some new middle grade authors. So as I say, we won't all be judging each category. There will be 5 judges for each category other than the science fiction and fantasy ones. That means we've got a nice mix of people discussing the books. It also makes it easy for when we are judging on our final favourite, hopefully. And yeah, I'm really excited about that part. One of the biggest changes we've made, which I think is going to diversify the books that are nominated, is we are putting a cap on the first, it's got to be the first 3 books in a series. So what I mean by that is you can't nominate the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 20th book in a series. It just became too much for those of us that hadn't read the series before and had to read all of those books that went up to the final book in order to be able to judge. So as I say, there will be a cap to the 3rd book in a series. You can nominate the 3rd book in a series, and we've kept it as 3rd because sometimes there are trilogies, and so that is okay. A trilogy is manageable, but anything further than that we won't be allowing nominations for. We will be running the SFF Babbles again, so if you want to take part and make videos and do Tumblr or Instagram or however you would like to do it, there will be Babbles and you will be able to find them out on our Goodreads page. But for now, the first Babble will be nominations suggestions. It's really important that we just push all of the books out there, give people some ideas of books that could be nominated. So if you want to make a video or an Instagram post, or you want to blog, or however you want to do it, if you want to tweet, get your nomination suggestions out there for people so that gives them a bit of an idea of books that they might want to nominate in each of the categories. So read-alongs will finish on the 31st of May, so they will be going on throughout February, March and April. Voting will open for the final ones on the 1st of June, and that will then close on the 7th of June with a live show with the date to be announced, but sometime around middle to end of June. I for one am really excited to be judging and taking part in this, into finding out more books and new series, and finding out what everyone else is enjoying, and looking into what the best books of 2017 were in science fiction and fantasy. So let's get nominating. Click down below, and I look forward to seeing you soon with my nomination suggestions and also seeing your nomination suggestions. Anyway, that's it from me, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye for now, Booktube.